Continuing here to finish that thought. So, what I'm really talking about is true capitalism brings a state of universal prosperity. And prosperity, in my mind, translates to freedom, universal freedom, absolute freedom. Because no longer are you bound by the money masters. You're freed from the money masters. You understand? You're not enchained. But you have to be financially free to be absolutely free. And we need a state of universal freedom. We cannot, in our own heart, mind, spirit, and soul, say, it's okay that we've got to oppress somebody. The farm workers, we've got to make them work. Okay? Nobody is going to be enchained. Okay? And that day is coming. That's what true capitalism brings. And true capitalism is free market. It is supply and demand capitalism. So what I'm talking about happens organically. It happens automatically. It happens naturally from capitalist forces if they're allowed to work. Okay, it works for everybody. So it's gradual that we enter that state, but they're not letting that happen. They fear that the most. They fear universal freedom, absolute universal freedom, more than anything else, because they're rendered irrelevant. So they train us all to think like them, little mini elite. Well, don't you want one-upmanship on an advantage on somebody else? I mean, don't you only value that thing if everybody else can't have it? You see, that's what they teach, that it's not really valuable anymore if everybody can have it. Okay, that just is illogical. They teach you illogic as logic, okay, because that doesn't make any sense. But yet they have a way of being duplicitous, deceptive in the way they train and teach us. So it's not really that hard to rationalize and buy into it. Say, yeah, so you might even harbor it somewhere like subconsciously in your heart, your soul, your spirit. So that's what you have to watch out for. Semi-consciously, it's in your heart, your mind, your spirit, your soul, that you're clinging on to these elitist thoughts. But remember, these are a surefire ticket to hell. Okay, if you are on the wrong side of history here, and God determines who is and who is not on the wrong side of history. Okay, so it's not about, me and saying, well, I got to make sure this guy thinks something of me or my peers or, no, you concern yourself. It's every man for himself when it comes down to it. Okay, even the demons believe and tremble at the word of God. They know lies from truth when it comes right down to it. Just because they've cleaned, they have chosen to embrace the darkness, embrace the lies, the evil, and the truth, the half-truths, and all this garbage. They still fear the day of reckoning, when the day that they'll have to answer for the reasons why their cowardice, because they couldn't stand not being in power. They couldn't stand rejecting the God of this world and the implications, ramifications of doing that in front of their peers, their family thing. See, money has got to be paramount. It's got to be the most important thing. You understand? They're going to try to, misery loves company, so pull as many of those that are wavering, that are lukewarm, that aren't completely committed to God and saying, hey, no, I got to reject things of this world. I'm told I have to be in the world, but I cannot be of the world. That's the distinction. So when it comes to saying that you love money or admitting it, confessing it, and this is what we have to do. We have to confess it. We have to admit it when we're wrong, okay? Just like when you're constipated. You haven't crapped in a week, but you say, nah, I'll pass it. I'm not really constipated. So instead of buying a bottle of prune juice, you buy a block of cheese. You go into denial. So what's going to happen? Well, any doctor can tell you, any nutritional expert, that the constipation is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Your system's going to get clogged up. You're probably going to have your appendix removed, have an enema, and a whole bit. So that's what I'm trying to help people to prevent. So you have a choice. You got a little window of time because you're alive, but you might be dead this evening. So I'm just saying, I don't want you to go to hell. I want people to be free. The more people that are free, the happier I can be. So that's how I see it. Logic I see is that sharing this wealth of knowledge with people about prosperity and its association, very, very intricate, unentangleable, inextricable association with freedom. Okay, it's imperative people understand prosperity and freedom. Okay, if you're feeling under the gun to pay your bills and to please them, the God of this world, the money masters of misery, okay, if you feel burdened unduly, like it's unfair and it just keeps getting harder, that nut keeps getting harder to crack, that bar keeps getting hard, and it's undue. You're willing to go out and serve, and you don't understand why, and it's not fair, it's not reasonable, it's not. You're right, and God doesn't want it that way. And so, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You just have to be committed to the right way of thinking here. I'm going to try to take a spoonful of honey from my throat. So what I'm trying to convince people is one thing. If I sound like I'm telling the truth, it's probably because I am. I mean, I just seen God strike me dead. I mean, I don't have a lot going for me. And I can lie. Certainly, like everybody, I can lie. But on this subject, it's just too important. Just God, I wish God would strike me dead if I'd lied to anybody on this subject. And I know what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people say, well, I just don't know because I didn't go to Harvard. I don't have the credentials and degree in economics or preaching or anything. I say go to the Bible yourself. Read it for yourself. Read what Jesus taught for yourself. Read the old and the new. You get a good rounded perspective of the nature and character of God. Understand why the earth has been cursed. I don't know how Muslims explain it. I don't know how Jews explain it. I know how Christians are supposed to explain the subsequent curse to the fall of man, this knowledge of good and evil. How it's like it's in our DNA, and that's why it's taken these thousands of years to work itself out. That's why we have natural disasters. It's too hot, too cold, stinging insects. God didn't make it like that. He didn't want that for us. Disease, sickness, death, all these horrible things. It wasn't God's fault. He wants an end to those things just like we should. I definitely want an end to those things. And good God, a lot of people say, no, if we had another chance, I'd never eat the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I'd never let this happen again if I had another chance. Never. I don't want to know good from evil, God. I want to be pure of heart. And I'm sorry that we did this thing. We cursed the earth for all the other creatures, like the Bible says. All creation groans under the weight of sin to this day. But I can lie just like anybody else. I mean, there's spies in the Bible. There's little white lies. It doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes you do more harm. Sometimes a stupid little thing that doesn't matter is like, what were you thinking? Why would you even bring that up? Doesn't matter. Point that out. It doesn't matter. How did that help anything? That wasn't even constructive criticism. That was just a stupid thing to say. So sometimes stuff is better left unsaid. Simple as that. Omitted. But on this issue, I'm not going to tell you a lie, and I do know economics. I've read from the greatest. And Adam Smith is at the top of that list when he summed up the whole wealth of nations in this one statement. Just remember, every nation's single greatest asset is not the gold and silver, the oil, or the lumber, timber, agricultural land, water resources, or anything else like that. Any other form of capital. Okay? It is in the workforce, a willing workforce. For everything can get done if you have a willing workforce. And conversely, absolutely nothing gets done if you don't have a willing workforce. Not since slavery was made illegal. You understand? So, does our society reflect that? Not at all. No, we're very quick to marginalize and subjugate those we say they are of little skill, failing to point out the matter of fact that their jobs are imperative to the welfare of society, no matter what that job is. It's important, or it wouldn't exist. It's that simple to understand. And then they don't point out how the vast majority of jobs revolve around the problems. And it'd be much cheaper just to solve the one problem of desperate extreme poverty and end all the need for the criminal industrial complex because of all the crime that's induced by desperate poverty and the dubious warfare industrial complex. All would save the welfare, social welfare industrial complex, the financial services industrial complex of poor people that got to borrow. Notice it's never the rich. How could they be the borrowers? Although Rich Dad openly admits that he takes advantage of it. He's putting the country further in debt. He confesses that at least. Good for him. Maybe that's a start of him to purge his conscience. That's what we all need to do. We need to purge our conscience and confess and say, God help me. I'm a money lover. I'm worldly. I'm carnal. I'm evil. I'm satanic. And I don't want to be. I want to go to a better world. I don't want to deserve that world. I want my heart pure. I want to be pleasing to you. I want to be a fragrant aroma in your nostrils, metaphorically speaking. So God help me. Because I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to be a mini elitist. I don't want to be even a little bit elitist. If I thought Trump was a little bit elitist, I'd have nothing to do with nothing. I don't. I think he gets it. People that really get it, they get this whole elitist thing. No. Not even a hint of elitism in your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your soul. It's got to go. It's got to go. If you want to go to a better world, this place they call heaven, whatever, okay, then you got to be true to yourself at least. Got to be honest with your conscience. Open yourself up like a book to God, because he already knows what you're thinking. So he knows what you're going to say before it comes out of your mouth. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. Well, I guess I'll move on to some more recent current events. But this immigration business is a real pain in the butt. It really is. All these idiot politicians, like in California especially, oh, we're doing sanctuary this and sanctuary that. But you know what? If you talk to the sheriff's department, police department, okay, these people would have a different take. And you know what? When the federal ICE agents come in, you think that they're going to get a lot of resistance from local police? Hey, well, our mayor said that this is a sanctuary city, so you understand? It's all about a head count money. Do you understand how this works? That's it, okay? Because in the current status quo establishmentarian mindset, it's sacrilege to ever interfere with business at all. I mean, so forget your stupid little Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, socialist, capitalist arguments. Okay, what we say, you better bow down to. We're the chamber of communists. Okay, we serve the business interests. Don't you dare interfere with business interests. That's the God of this world. That's money. Are you a fool? Do you understand? So you understand, these people get on their sanctimonious high horse. But on the ground, on the grassroots level, I haven't heard of any resistance from sheriff's departments, ICE doing their job. I mean, we want safer streets. People should not be living in America illegally. Period. You understand? We want to know who's here. Okay, why they're here. They love America, or are they just sucking, leeching, are they Trojan horses? Okay, we want to know what's going on here. We're done. We're not bowing down to you idiots anymore. It's over. You're cooked. You're done. And if you don't like America and you don't like the things we stand for as Americans, then why don't you just find somewhere else to live? Someplace that opens the door to all immigrants. Maybe someplace that's socialized, right? That just takes everything they can from the haves and distributes to the have-nots. And you'll find a hellhole, nightmarish crap hole situation like in Venezuela or China, okay? And that's to me what they are. You want to brag about China? You go there and live. Go there and have fun and have your free speech you monitored. Okay, you think you have free speech? Go there and do that and see what happens. Okay, these people don't know what they're doing. I mean, the law enforcement are so corrupt in these areas. They just want to be big shots carrying a gun wearing a uniform, and people being intimidated by them. They give a crap. You think they want to go lay pavers or, grow a garden or, be a farmer or build houses? No, no, they want to sit on their asses and you just take from the haves. They just want, hey, let's just steal from those.